Kia ora, I'm Renee Kessley. I'm the practice advisor here at Creative New Zealand for music and opera. And we're here today to give feedback for the Early Career Fund. I'm a cis Pākehā female. I've got blonde, grey, mid-length curly hair, and I'm wearing some tortoiseshell glasses and peach today. I've got a round face and blue, grey-green eyes. Today I'm joining you from my home office in Whanganui, and joining me today I have Malcolm Burgess. He is part of our Practice and Pathways team also, and he's our literature lead advisor. Let's gather up this morning and begin our hui with a karakia. Okay. Māori oho, Māori tū, Māori oro kia koutou. Haumi e, hui e, tai ki. Just to note, today our hui is being recorded for posterity and will be available with closed captions on our website and via our YouTube channel. So Malcolm's going to kick us off today with a little bit about what we'll cover. At the end of our session, we won't be having questions, but instead we'll have some of our frequently asked questions attached to the hui, and be sending those out to you. Okay. Over to you, Malcolm.
Kia ora, Renee, thanks for that. No mai, haere mai. I'm Malcolm Burgess, Lead Practice Advisor Literature at Creative New Zealand. Thanks for joining us today. So this webinar is for people who applied to our Early Career Fund, or perhaps might be planning to apply to our next round, which opens on the 27th of January 2026. So today we'll be sharing some information about the fund, including key insights and feedback from the latest round, what makes strong applications stand out, and guidance throughout to help prepare your next application. We'll also touch on other potential sources of support for early career artists, ringatoi, and practitioners that you might want to explore. This Zui will be around 30 to 40 minutes today, or even less.
Cool. So looking at the Early Career Fund and just giving you a quick overview. Now, I know that many of you will already be familiar as you've applied to the fund, so excuse any repetition. The fund is, of course, for artists or practitioners that self-determine as early career practitioners. Now, what self-determined means is that it's up to you to determine whether you're an early career artist, not for us to decide. So that might be different for different artists' forms. It might be that you've been working for a long time in one field and you're going over to another field. Or for instance, for a musician, it might be that you've been working for 20 years as a gigging artist, but you're just at the stage that you're putting out your first album. It might be that you've been a lighting designer that's now becoming a producer, or a mixed media artist that is now going to be working as a ceramicist, for instance. So that might be taking you back to the beginning of your career. You can apply for up to $10,000 in this fund, and that can be for developing new skills, developing new work, and it's for sharing your mahi with your communities. So it can be for creating, presenting, or distributing your work, gaining knowledge and new skills, either here or overseas or online, but it can't be at any tertiary institution here in New Zealand. And it can also be to pay a mentor. There's no budget needed at the beginning, but you'll need to be sending us one through if you are indeed successful. That being said, be realistic about what you can achieve within that $10,000 budget. And it's great to have an idea of the rough budget in mind, or a specific one. Also, if what you're doing is going to require more than $10,000, bear in mind it's good to let us know how you're going to make up that shortfall, or if this is only a stage of a larger project. It's okay to be ambitious, but let us know that you know this is ambitious. Okay, the next slide. Let's look now at what we're assessing. So what we're looking for in an early career funding application. We're looking at whether the activities described in your proposal allow you to learn, create, and share as an early career artist, whether it's important for you to do this now at this stage of your early career, whether it helps you grow in your practice, and whether it allows you to take risks and develop new ideas. So I'm going to hand over to Malcolm now again, and he's going to share some of the insights from the last round.
One of the most important things to note, I guess, with this round is that there is a really high level of demand for the fund and a success rate of around 10% currently. It's been great to see a noticeable improvement in application quality as the rounds have progressed, both in the strength of the ideas and how they're expressed. However, this also means each round brings more strong applications than we can fund, unfortunately, given the limited resources and the limited pūtea available. So if you miss out on one round, you're able to reapply, and we would encourage you to look for other sources of funding. Renee can talk a little bit later about this. So one of the first things to do when you're considering applying is to give yourself the best chance of being successful is to consider if this fund is the best fit for you. While this fund is designed to support early career artists and practitioners, you may not be ready to apply, either in terms of your career stage or the development of your idea. And here are some really important things to consider when writing your application. Will your proposal help you grow your arts practice or support your learning? If so, tell us how. Go further than just describing the idea. You need to lay out why it's going to help you grow and why now. Is what you're proposing important to do now at this early stage of your career? A compelling reason, for example, might be that a unique opportunity has come up that you need to take advantage of now or in the near future. It can also be very important to provide a sample of what you're proposing to do, even if it's very early stage. Other examples of support material you can include, which are worthwhile, are timelines, demos of past work or links to it, what other people say about your work, reviews, articles, or interviews, and your artistic CV, including your awards, etc. Remember, be selective, make it relevant. These things aren't required though, but they can be helpful depending on what you're applying for. In terms of the context of your career, do you have tangible goals? Are you able to see a path for yourself? Are you able to outline how funding would help you progress? Are you able to show you've taken some first steps in your own communities already? Can you show the support you already have around you? This could be a mentor or people who can help you from your community. Have you included the details of collaborators and mentors and their agreement to be involved? Naming your mentors is really important if you can. So I'll pass back to Renee.
Oh, thanks, Malcolm. So some more on making a strong application. So the first thing is a well-developed idea. The more detail or the further advanced your idea is, the better. It doesn't mean that you have to know exactly where you're going to end up or what the outcome is at the end of your project, but exactly how you're going to get there, or as clear as you can be, and what your ideas are now on how you're going to get there is important. It doesn't matter if you deviate from that plan, but if you can give us clear thinking and what that plan is going to be at the outset, that's great. Showing us that you have a plan on realizing the goals is what we're looking for. It's not about the outcome so much, it's about the thought process on the journey, having the skills to bring the ideas to fruition and the drive to develop your skills to do so. Strong articulation, successful applications clearly communicate what the artists want to do, the shape of the activity. They've got clear dates, timelines, and easy to follow structure in the writing to help assessors understand what they're being asked for to fund. If you can think about the different stages and goals of your career ahead, that's great. Even if you don't talk about them explicitly in the application, or if you don't stick to them, who knows what the future might bring. Thinking about them and having them down on the paper when you're applying or writing your application will help you with that clear articulation. It means that if you have all of that in mind when you're writing, you'll be clear on that short, medium, and long-term goal and the outlook in your practice and your career, that you'll have a better shot at conveying what that looks like to your assessor and in showing where your mahi now fits in with where you're heading. Be clear and concise. Applicants demonstrating a good understanding of the assessment criteria without it seeming laboured is really great. They stick to the question, and while there may be details that don't directly relate to the questions, it helps creating context around the questions and filling in wider context about their careers and who they are for the assessor. They use plain language and don't waffle. Don't overcomplicate things. While details and specificity are super important, you don't need to go overboard. Give us the details and specifics that matter. And again, don't waffle. Using an authentic voice is really important too. Many strong applicants tell their stories in their words. Remember, this fund is about you and us developing you as an artist, more than just the project. It's great when we hear that voice coming through loud and clear. It gives us a sense of who you are as an artist and why you're doing what you do. It tells us why this particular piece of mahi is important for us to do, us to back you and what you're doing and where it fits in your career and your practice. I'll hand back to Malcolm at this stage because you're ready.
Thanks, Renee. Yeah, so I guess when you're ready to submit, ask yourself, have you covered all the bases in the proposal? For example, where are you at in your artistic practice? Why are you applying now? And of course, what you want to do. And another good thing before submitting that you can do is to get someone else to have a look over your application. If your friends, whānau, or colleagues have questions, assessors may have the same ones too.
Cool. So now let's look at some other sources of funding and some resources that Creative New Zealand can help you out with. So even if you're not successful, these things can help you out there, or they can be things that help bolster your application in terms of other sources of revenue for next time round. So the first thing to look at is one of my favorite things, and it's the Creative Community Scheme. That's distributed at a local level. The sort of the baseline for some of our smaller communities is around $2,000 to $2,500, and that can be sort of the limit for a lot of those smaller communities, but that can be more in some of our larger cities. The priorities for this fund are projects that either encourage participation, involve young people, or encourage diversity. It's a great fund, and the success rate on that is around 60 to 70%. One of the things for that is that it's really about encouraging risk-taking. The fund is actually a CNZ devolved fund, which is distributed usually through the local district councils or local city councils. So go to your local council website or just Google Creative Community Scheme and your local area, and it should come up. It's an amazing opportunity, and many artists use it in the early stage of their careers. Like most funds, or pretty much all funds that you're applying for, it's really important that you touch base with them first to see whether you're eligible and your project is eligible, and to give you the best shot at getting funded. Now, the next one that I'm going to go to is Boosted and other crowdfunding websites and platforms. Now, crowdfunding is one of the quickest and well-used mechanisms for funding. It's also a great way to build your audience and to reach out to community, friends, whānau, and the audience that you already have for support. Boosted is specifically for the arts, and it's run by the Arts Foundation in New Zealand. It's a great one because it is art specific, and they have a fantastic set of people and foundation of resources that'll support you through the process. Also, it looks great, and it's wonderful on helping you capitalize on your social media. The platform is an all or nothing website. So that means you have to be really well versed on looking at your goals that you set. And the most often used, not all or nothing, is Give a Little, which is a much broader audience. So if you're looking to fund an ongoing cause, that's something to look at. And of course, there are now some Facebook options as well available. There are quite a few opportunities out there, but they can be quite limited if you're an individual. Depending on what form or arts field you're working in, you can start looking at residencies, competitions, those sorts of things. They're a great way to make money and improve your profile, or find a way to get paid and finding space or time to focus on your practice. Here's a link right in the middle of the screen there. The other sources of funding and support link there. And that is where you'll find a whole lot of resources, including all of those different residencies and competitions. I'd also encourage you to have a look at the toolkits listed there, and the development and resources, Sustainable Careers resources. That has some awesome stuff around legal matters, getting your finances in order, and of course, most importantly, making connections with other artists. We have all sorts there apart from just the pūtea. I'll now hand back to Malcolm to give us a quick wrap up and close us off with a karakia.
Kia ora, Renee. Thanks for that. Yeah, so to summarise, what can we say about the ECF Fund? Tell your story authentically. Use your own words, as if you were telling your story to another person who may not know your work or hasn't heard your idea and doesn't know the people you'll be working with. Don't overwrite. Address the question directly and ask yourself if what you're saying helps to understand your response. It pays to put on another hat after you've written your answer, that of an assessor. Think about what you've said from their point of view. Have you answered the question in a confident, clear, and compelling way? Add support material only if it strengthens what you're saying or helps to fill in the context. And take a look again at those assessors, at what those assessors are looking for before hitting the submit. So we hope you found the webinar useful and that you've gotten a few helpful tips for future applications. We'd love it if you could consider what we've said, and you can always get in touch to if you have further questions. But here's the date of the next round again. It is the 27th of January 2026, closing at 1 p.m. on Thursday, the 5th of March 2026. And it's for activities taking place between the 17th of June 2026 and the 17th of September 2027. Results of this round are due on the 17th of June 2026. Go well into the rest of your week and your year, and kia pai o koutou hararai. So I'll now close this out with a karakia. Kia whakaaria te tapu, kia wātea ai te ara. Kia turaki whakataha ai, kia turaki whakataha ai. Haumie, huie, taikie.
Thank you.